Firstly, non-discretionary rules. Number one, weekly chart. Okay, so we begin on the weekly chart. Number two, 3 consecutive swing fails. You cannot have 2, you need the third. Okay, and we'll go over that in a moment. Number 3, target 50% of previous week's range. Okay. Discretionary rules. The entry time frame is on you. Okay, so you can enter on the M5, the M15, the hourly. Okay, it's totally on you. However you prefer to enter and however tight you want to get in is completely at your discretion. Okay, trade entry trigger. There's obviously various ways of entering the market. I've shown you a few. I'll show you some more today, whether that be an over and under, back inside of Monday's range, or Thursday's back inside Friday's high, or Thursday's high, or previous week's range back inside, stop above the high, take the entry off the inside of the level. There's many ways you can enter the market. That is on you. Maybe you just want to wait for a swing high, an hourly close below. You enter at market when you get your H1 candle closes. It's on you. I want you to go to the charts after we've done the lesson. Implement the non-discretionary rules. Then take a look at how you would enter the market and how you prefer to enter the market. How you're confident and comfortable entering the market. Not on this trade, but on all of your trades. Which particular entry trigger gives you the best opportunity to get in as close to your invalidation as possible? Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Number 3, take profit percent at non-discretionary target. So if we go back, the target is 50% of the previous week's range, and we'll go over this in a moment. What previous week? We'll go over it in more depth and you'll understand. But for me, okay, the discretionary rule number 3, it's on you to decide whether you want to take 100% off and close the trade at 50% of the previous week's range, or maybe you want to only take off 90% and let 10% run. Maybe you want to take off 50% and let 50% run. Okay, so it's up to you. But this strategy for me is an in, out, fully close at 50% of previous week's range. It's up to you what you do regarding taking your profit. Okay. Now, they're the rules of the particular strategy. Now we're going to go over. So I have a wonderful little paint chart here for you. Now we're going to go over non-discretionary rules. Weekly. Okay, number 2, 3 consecutive swing fails, and number 3, target 50% of the previous week's range. So let's assume. Okay, let's assume this is your weekly candle. Okay. It does not matter the size, where it closes, where it opens, what color it is. You know, it doesn't matter what its name is. Nobody cares. Okay. All you need is a high and a low. So if this doesn't work with flat bottoms, if the market is trading, if there's a flat bottom and the market is trading into the low, then it's not going to work. But what you're looking for is your weekly candle. Okay, so we have a high and we have a low. So what we're waiting for on the next week is one of the highs or the lows to be taken. Okay, so for this particular example, let's just imagine the low gets taken. Okay, so we have the low gets taken. Candle. Doesn't matter, again, doesn't matter where it closes, doesn't matter how big it is, how small it is, doesn't matter what dress it's wearing, as long as it takes previous week's high or low. Okay, so now we have 1, 2. So this is why it's such a wonderful swing trade strategy, because it gives you opportunity to go through many FX currency pairs, and you're looking for a weekly swing to be taken out. That gives you plenty of time to prepare for the third week, and it's worth mentioning that the third week might not come. Okay, it might not take out the previous week's low, it may take out the high. Okay, and at this point you go back to the drawing board and you wait for another setup. Maybe it comes over here. Okay, maybe it comes over here like this, and then you're waiting. Okay, again you're waiting for this high to be taken, and that gives you your 3 consecutive swing fails. Okay, so let's bring it back to this one. Okay, so let's imagine we are waiting. It doesn't matter where these candles are, doesn't matter what trend, doesn't matter what your bias is, doesn't matter if it's under monthly open, below, above monthly open, over, above yearly open, below yearly open. It does not matter. Okay, you are just looking for the swing fail. So we're on our second week. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for the low to be taken. Okay, so let's imagine Monday or Tuesday, doesn't matter what day. Okay, market drops in, boom, takes the high. Okay, now once this has been taken, what is rule number 3? Target 50% of previous week's range. So we have our non-discretionary rule covered. 3 consecutive swing fails. Yes, we've got it. Okay, target 50% of the previous week's range. Okay, so here's the high, here's the low. Let's say there's 50% somewhere there. Okay, 50%, 50% in there. So what we're looking to do with this particular strategy is we are looking to trade with the flow of the third week's candle that has taken out the low, very similar to the triple stop strategy. Okay, we're looking to trade with the flow of the candle back into the mid-range of the previous week. We took out the low, we're looking to trade back into the mid-range. Okay, boom, done. Okay, that is the strategy. Of course, it can fail. You can end up having 4. The market could be really bullish and it can just go the other way and not come back to the 50%. Okay, so but if it does take it out, you find you zoom down to your H1, your M15, your M5. You're looking to get in as close to there with your stop underneath the swing fail, trading into 50%. Okay, so that is the strategy, and I hope that made sense for you, and it will when we now move on to the charts. Okay, and take a look. So what we're going to do, we're going to begin with US dollar yen. Okay, what is rule number 1? Weekly chart. Okay, so we're on the weekly chart. So let's go from 2018 to now. Okay, so what are we looking for? We're looking for a low or a high to form, and then we're looking for the second candle, which is really important because we want to see it take out the high or the low, and that gives us a little bit direction. Okay, it gives us our 2, and we're looking for our third. Okay, so of course this is in hindsight, but there's no other way to do it. So okay, so let's go over. Let's work backwards, shall we? Okay. So at the moment you can see, okay, we had a high and it didn't get taken. We had an inside week. So we begin fresh with a new weekly candle. Next week we're looking for the high or the low to be taken. okay, and then we get some direction. But let's zoom backwards a little bit. Okay, so let's begin from here. Okay, so there's your low. See there? There's your low. This week took out the low. Okay, third week took out the low of the previous week. So let's mark that up. And of course, this is in hindsight, but we're going to use it working forward, and you'll see in the coming weeks and days. Okay, so there's your low forms. As you can see, it doesn't matter where the low forms, and you know you could ignore the highs being taken here, because of course the opposite side has given us 4 weeks, but we're going to use this low and then this low gets taken, so that reversed it. Because if you're using this high, you said boom, yes, we got the high taken, the next week took out the low instead of the high. If this candle had taken out the high, it would have given us our 1 2 3, wouldn't it? But it didn't. It took out the low, so it's given us 1 2. Now we're looking for the third, and we got the third. Okay, let's take the magnet off there. There's your low. There's your low taken. Okay, let's drop it down to the H1. What do we have? Okay, so now you can see it a lot more clearer. Here's the low of the week, gets placed on a Monday. There's the high of the week, so there's the week's range. What happens on the next week? Boom, we drop into the low, drops in again. We don't have to make, we're not in a rush, because why? We need to see the first low taken, the second week taken, so it does not matter what happens in this week. None of this matters to us, okay? We could be looking at other pairs. What we're now waiting for is we're on alert. Maybe we can put a post-it note on our computer screen and say, right, we have 2 lows formed on US dollar yen. What we're looking for next week, and probably up here, you're thinking, well, fuck it, now this is unlikely to come down here. But you're aware that 2 lows have been taken. You need a third. Then you can implement your entry trigger, okay? Because the trade has presented itself, and this is what I mean. It does not matter about bias. Doesn't matter what the market is doing, okay? So you're now waiting for this low to get taken, and here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What does it do? Drops in, okay? Drops in. So what do we have on Thursday? We have our low taken. So now we're looking at this and we say, okay, our low has been taken. What are we looking for next? Target 50% of previous week's range. As you can see on here, 1, 2, 3. We're now in here on Thursday, targeting 50% of the previous week's range. Okay, so let's mark that out. There's your low. Where's your high of this week? Your low is there. Where is the high? I came in on Friday. Okay, so where's our target? Our target is here. Okay, we're not targeting up here. We're not targeting these stops up here. We're looking to trade for this market to trade back into this level. Okay, this is all we want. We do not give a fuck. Excuse me, I shouldn't say that on a lesson. We do not care if the market wants to pump another 100 pips. Okay, all we're looking for is to get in tight to a low, and this is what we're looking for, this move. Okay, how can we enter? Well, let's assume this particular setup. I'm looking at it and thinking, well, what I would like to see naturally would be for us to get back inside the previous week's range. Maybe a little bit of bullish price action, maybe market buying an H1 candle. Let's see what happens, develops, because I haven't looked at these in advance. Why is it not moving? Okay, so there we go. There's the low. Very wide stop on this. What happens on Friday? Boom, back inside. Is the low in here? We've had a close inside. Now we're looking at this and thinking, well, this is where all the buying was happening. That pushed the market up, broke the structure there, didn't it? Okay, so what you're looking for is potentially, there's the origin of the move. Maybe you set your limit order once this market explodes up there. Maybe you set your limit order there, okay, or maybe you try for a little bit deeper, because obviously we don't know this is going to come back down here. But once it's got back inside, maybe you set your limit on the blue. Okay, where's your stop? There. Where's your target? There. So let's work with that rather than the pullback, because maybe it doesn't pull back, but it seems to have pulled back in this case. But we've broken back inside the range. You're thinking, right, I'm going to buy this and target this, stop here. Okay, long. There's my entry, there's my target, there's my stop. Maybe you want to get closer, maybe you want to put it in there. This is the discretionary part of the trade for you. But for me, it's the low, okay? And what is the trade? It's only a 1.3R, okay? But if you're putting 5% on these swing trades, because you can on swing trades, that's 6, 7, 8% account gain, okay, on a high probability setup. Boom. Target hit. Now what do? Doesn't come back down to your stop. Okay, took 3 or 4 days. But you had your TP set. Did you have your TP set for 100%? Did you have it set for 50%? We don't know. Maybe you put another 50% up there. 50% took 50% off here, 50% off there. This is discretionary. But this strategy, if you want to use the non-discretionary elements, then you're taking 100% off here. Okay, it doesn't matter what happens after it hits your target. This one happens to shoot off into the distance. That's absolutely fine. You got your trade. Okay, let's go back to the weekly. So where are we on the weekly? Let's say, let's go back a little bit further, shall we? So, for example, okay, this one. Let me find one that would be a failure. Okay, a failure. So, I mean, you have these everywhere. Look, you have your 1, 2, 3, and you're looking to target the mid-range of the previous week's range. Boom, it definitely pulls back, takes out the high. But I mean, they're there as well. There's your high. Takes out the high, but also takes out the low. So this particular example, you've got an opportunity to wait for this weekly candle to take the high or low, and then you target 50% of this candle. Okay, and this one happens to, yeah, I mean, that was a good trade. But examples where it doesn't, where it fails would be here. So, okay, you have your high taken, then it doesn't take it. Okay, so what happens in this instance? We then begin from here. We have a high and a low. Oh, it takes the high. Now we want a third. It takes the high. Trade it back into the mid-range here. Okay. What we're going to do, we're going to take a look at this one. So we had this big deep spike. Then we had a candle form. We now have a high and a low. What are we looking for? What are we looking for? We're looking for a high or low to be taken. What happens? Boom. Takes out the high. We have 2. Okay, so let's get them marked up. Let's take the magnet off again, just to get it straight there. So we have our second one. What are we looking for now? If it takes out on the third week, if it takes out the low, we reset the counter, we go back to number 1. Okay? We want it to take out the high, then we zoom down to the lower time frames, find our entry, target in 50% of this candle. What happens? Takes out the high. Okay, let's get that marked up. Takes out the high. Takes out the high. Wonderful. So, where is this? January, the beginning of January. So let's drop it to the H1. Zoom to January. Where are the levels? There we are. Okay. So I'm just going to choose the one with the spike, didn't I? So there's your high. The next week it got taken out, and at this point, I mean, this is a perfect example. It's a great example actually of not giving any importance to bias, trend, anything. Okay, because this market is trending up, and we've taken out one high. We want to take out this high, and then we're looking for a short. So essentially, a counter trade, right, on a trend. Yeah. We take out the high. When do we take it out? We're waiting. Tuesday, Wednesday comes, pop. Okay. Wednesday of the third week, we get the high taken out. Okay. So now you're looking at the market. It's dropped. How are you going to enter? This is on you. Maybe you want to bring in. Maybe you want to close below Monday's low. Okay, maybe you want to close below Monday's low, and then you're going to sell with your stop above the high. Okay, maybe you're going to use the weekly open. Maybe you want to sell the retest of the weekly open. The entry trigger is at your discretion. What is not at your discretion is the target. Okay, and the target is 50% of the previous week's range. Here, how you get into the market is on you. So Wednesday, boom, it takes it out. Okay. Pulls back. You know your invalidation is over here. What can happen? We maybe let's assume for this particular example, you sold the weekly open. Let's say you sold the weekly open, so it pushed into the weekly open. You entered. Stop. Short entry there. Let's get this a bit lower. There's your entry there. Okay, your stop is there, and your target is there. Okay, so let's say you took that trade. I don't know what's going to happen now. Maybe it takes us out. Oh, did it take us out? It didn't. When does it hit target? Boom. Didn't take us out, did it? Okay, then you got your target hit, and at this point you've got your 2.27R on your 5%, your 3%, your 4%, whatever makes you feel comfortable. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14% account gain. Okay, what happens after this is not your business. So you've entered, okay, on Thursday of the third week, and you leave the trade to stop out or target hit. When does it come in? Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday the next week. So you can set and forget it. Okay, what happens after this is up to you, depending on how much money you take off the market at the TP. Okay, say you take 50% and you want to send it down there. Maybe it drops, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. No, it doesn't. In this instance, it comes back and would have took you out. Okay, so that is the strategy. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you understood the concept. I want you to get onto your charts, take a look. Any questions, tag me in the Education Lounge. But please watch this video back multiple times before doing so. And again, go practice on any FX pair that you enjoy trading, or all of them. It's totally up to you. Okay, I just chose dollar yen today because it's a pair I trade. Okay, hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye.